Hello and welcome to the Miss Rolling podcast. As usual, my name is Jacob Staten, and as usual, I'm joined by JJ Armstrong. JJ, how the devil are you?
Fantastic, Jacob. The sun's out. Life's good. Mostly.
Sun's out, guns
how
out?
are you?
Yeah, I'm all
out,
right.
but
Guns aren't out. No, I'm slowly able to walk again. If anyone sees me stumping around the streets of Nottingham, then I apologise. But yeah, it's getting better all the time, mate, as the Beatles say.
straight in for the sympathy vote, aren't you? Straight in.
Straight, mate. Well, if you had an ankle as fat as mine, mate, you would too. JJ, talk to us about heavy metal football, mate.
Yes. Those that have listened to the podcast might know that I've launched a little side venture, which is a clothing line, which is alternative culture and clothing for football fans. And I have launched Forest shirts. The pre-orders have ended for that, so thank you to everyone that pre-ordered. But there are some lovely retro-inspired Forest shirts. If that floats your boat, go to heavymetalfootball.co.uk to check that out. Or please do follow us on social media. That does help as well. There's only two shirts left of our first drop, which is all profits go to Stand Against M&D. So you're contributing to a good cause. They're now on sale. So check the website out. There might be something for you. There's plenty of Forest stuff. More Forest stuff coming, and even a cheeky little England Euro shirt coming. So check it out. Do me a favour. If you can follow us on social media, even better. But that's enough for me selling my stuff. Jacob, you got anything to sell?
No.
Apart from yourself?
Apart from myself.
Not in.
Anyone got a thing for fat ankles? Drop me a DM.
Yeah, Jacob's OnlyFans will be on sale shortly.
3 ankles for the price of 2. So we're going to jump into the Wolves game. Obviously, a little bit of time has passed since it happened on Saturday at 3 o'clock. I'm not going to go over it in minute detail, JJ, but I think overall we came out of that game thinking it was an improved performance. I think there were certain things you could probably sit and start to pick apart, but I think by and large for me we controlled the game and had the better chances, and I think it's definitely 2 points dropped, but I think the point plus the performance for me, it didn't feel like a smack in the mouth, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I sort of feel like we're in the minority of coming away from that game thinking that it was largely positive and that we were largely the better team and it was largely a good performance. And I use the term largely there because I think it was 2 points drop, as you say. But I think people seem to think that you can't have a good performance whilst also treating it as 2 points drop. So yes, there were frustrating moments. Yes, there was naivety. Yes, there was fragility. But I do think overall we were the better team, and I think there's positives to take. I think you continue to play like that against a side that aren't as well drilled as Wolves, who are a good side and have had a good season and have exceeded expectations. You know, they were a team at the start of the season that looked like they would be in free fall, losing a lot of good players, losing their manager just before the season, and taking the sloppy seconds of Bournemouth's Gary O'Neill, who nobody really saw as that good of a candidate. So Wolves have had a great season. They've had some great results. I think we did all right. I really do. And it is 2 points dropped. Definitely. We'll go into why in a second. But I came away from it still feeling positive. Yes, frustrated, but still positive. And I've said to you, Jacob, I'm quite a good barometer because if there's a chance for me to be negative, I will be. If I come away from it thinking, that's actually all right, I guess it's all good, isn't it?
Yeah, I would certainly say so. If you're coming away with thinking it's all good, I just think we were very positive. We created chances, which I think is a huge thing, especially in our dire situation. We don't get many chances to impress like that, and I think we created lots of chances. I'm looking at the stats right now. We had 18 shots, 9 on target. You can't say that for many games this season. And I feel like I don't think anybody would argue that we should have won. We deserve to win that game. I think that would have been the fair result. And I think that whole thing of if you don't win, you can't say you played well. it doesn't really wash me because the other team's trying to stop you from winning, aren't they? It's I have a personal thing when everybody seems to moan about every goal being poor defending. The other team are trying to score. I actually think the 2 goals in this game are good examples of that. Whilst I don't think Omobamidele showered himself in glory when Cunha spun past him, was still a good strike. And then the other one of that is their equaliser was a very avoidable goal, JJ.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was shocking. Unbelievable strike. And this is another thing of, you say that you can't play well whilst also treating it as points dropped, but this is the same thing where you can say it is a very good strike whilst also being shoddy defended. I think he walked. Did he walk from inside our half?
He ran.
Okay, not literally walked, but
it was an assist to Jose Sá, wasn't it, from the goalkeeper?
Was it? Okay, that's even worse. I think whilst it was an unbelievable finish, I still don't think he should have even had the chance to put that away. I think Omobamidele and Yates have not covered themselves in as much glory there. I think it's quite naive from Omobamidele. There's sort of this hesitance from us to actually close down space, I feel. And he had to pull off a great finish, but I just feel like he shouldn't have been able to. I think it was a rubbish goal.
I actually don't think Omobamidele did that badly until the spin. I think he doesn't let him do much. He takes him out wide. He's on the edge of the penalty area. There's seemingly no danger, and then he does that spin, and all of a sudden the ball's in the back of the net. He went from looking like the defender that I think he could be. I think he's going to be a fantastic defender in 5 years' time. I think he's going to be a Premier League, a great Premier League centre back. But he went from looking like that to looking like Joe Worrell. When because Cunha gets to Omobamidele pretty quick. They're counter attacking. I think again he takes him out wide. He doesn't lunge in, give him something to jump over and get past him, and then all of a sudden he's gone past him and the ball's in the back of the net. Yates, I don't really understand what he's meant to have done. I think it's Omobamidele's. He probably could have helped him and stopped him, but I think he's Omobamidele's man. He shouldn't have been beaten by that pirouette. But he was. But yeah, he went from looking like he's marshalling him out towards a goal kick or a corner to Joe Worrell very quickly.
Yeah, let's go back to Yates because there was a moment within that first half as well where could have gifted them a goal. So we'll go back to Yates, and it's much contested online. But the second goal, as you say, completely avoidable. Real shame that happened. Yeah. But I messaged you just before it saying, here we go, corner, 2-2, and, unfortunately, right again. You can see it happening, can't you? Like, it's really obvious now. So something we need to work on. And I think this is where I'm getting a little bit frustrated with us at the minute, whilst there are positive signs, is the positive signs are so nearly there that if you can build on the defence over a full season, if you can keep that attack together and work on it and develop that, then there really is a nearly good side in there. It's just give us the time. Don't go down. Let's get this season wrapped up. Give us the time to develop it. And within that development, I don't think that includes Ryan Yates as a starting player. I don't think he's potentially good enough to start in the Premier League, but he is still, to me, a very, very useful squad player. But he's been, I guess, constantly debated amongst the fan base. It's getting a little bit tiresome now, to be honest. What are your thoughts on Yates? Obviously, he had a bit of a stinker this game. He had a stinker last game to me. Nearly gifted them a goal with a sloppy pass after being put under little pressure from Sells. What are your thoughts on the situation currently?
Who was the game before?
We had Fulham, then we had Spurs, and now we've had Wolves.
Well, he was marvellous against Fulham. I didn't see him being bad against Spurs.
It was shocking.
I didn't see him being bad against Wolves, if I'm being honest. He made that one pass where Murillo made the block off the line, which was exceptional, but, everybody he's trying to play football, isn't he? So I'm bearing in mind, I'm not saying he's the second coming of Roy Keane, but I'm not saying that it's not. We're not playing Danny Sonner, are we? It's not. I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he has been that bad. Sorry, I think he's a very important player in the team. I think him and Danilo have a good partnership. They're very mobile. We know he's got limitations on the ball, but he's always had those limitations on the ball. Again, I don't think he was exceptional, but I think he's been made a scapegoat. Looking at the team that played, do I think anybody particularly had a bad game? Sells didn't cover himself in glory for the second goal, but was largely good. Nico Williams, fantastic. Centre back's good, apart from the first goal. Olarina's good. I thought Gio Reyna was largely missing from the game, but that's because he was coming inside a lot, rather than staying out wide like Alanga does. But that's just my personal cup of tea. But you're going to tell me that you didn't think Ryan Yates was very good, JJ?
No, not that I don't think he wasn't very good. I think you've nailed Ryan Yates completely there by saying he's not rubbish and he's not exceptional. That is Ryan Yates. He is, I think, somewhere in between. I don't foresee him being a regular starter in the Premier League as we build, but for where we are right now, he is an important player. And I think Sangare hasn't quite done it, which is unfortunate. Sort of fans have seen that he's not really starter. Yates isn't really starter. We're just stuck in a bit of a position at the minute. And I guess the answer probably is Danilo and Dominguez. Yet to really see it other than in brief periods of the game as the game was closing out. I think that both of them were on the pitch at the same time. But, if Ryan Yates starts every game until the end of the season, I personally won't be upset about it because I still think he's useful. He has had good games. He has had bad games. So has Danilo. A few weeks ago, Danilo wasn't even in contention for me. Yet he's come back and been unbelievable and was man of the match to me at the weekend. So players can have bad games. Players can have good games. I think whatever combination of the two midfield will probably be right at the minute. But I just think, being as brutal as some fans are about Ryan Yates, it is getting very tiresome. That's not going to help him in any way. It is similar to the Steve Cooper debate for me, where if he never plays again because we've invested, then I'd almost be quite relieved. I used to be in the camp of Ryan Yates isn't good enough back in the Championship. Been U-turned by him. I think he's still useful. I think he still has potential to be useful for us going forward. Don't foresee him as a starter, but it's just a position we're in. We are a relegation fighting team at the minute. So it just is what it is. I can see why people don't like him. I can see why he's divisive, but I think at this moment in time, we've just got to get behind the players. Whether that's Sangare starting now, we've got to, act as if he's going to be the best. So, yeah. I think your point on Rain, if you want to, are you going to talk about Ryan Yates? We can carry on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think an issue might be with people's perception of it, and I'd love to see people's comments. I'd love to hear what people think either way on whether you think he's good or bad or what he's good at. I think an issue might be that he excels, at the Fulham game, counter-attacking, winning the ball back, laying it off, the team go. He excels in those games because he gets himself involved in the dogfight so other people don't have to. The Wolves game, we're a bit more on the ball. We're trying to play a bit better football. That's where I can understand that he comes short. But in my head, I'm comparing his Ryan Yates' performance to Ryan Yates. I'm not comparing it to an anonymous Premier League centre midfielder who's probably a bit better on the ball type thing. That's where my lack of it.
It's not his game, really, is it? And he is there just to disrupt, be a pest. I would say
he's very effective. I understand why every manager that's come in has picked him. Yeah. He's very effective, in my opinion.
Yeah, and him, being born down the road and loving the club isn't a bad thing. Like some people seem to suggest that's the only reason he's in. And if it is, that's fine, because I'll take that over someone that doesn't care at the minute. And I'm not saying people don't care, but I'm saying if I had the choice between someone that has been ineffective and looked a bit slow, i.e. Sangare, almost the way he moves makes it look like he doesn't care, or someone that does care, tries their best, still sometimes ineffective, I'll pick that person. But I think he does disrupt in some games. That works really well. Like say in this game, I think he actually disrupted us on many occasions because there was moments where we were on the front foot and a cheap foul to give away or throwing himself to the floor sort of disrupted our momentum. So it is a tiresome debate. I sort of hope that it's Dominguez and Danilo next game, just so that we don't have to have this conversation. But look at the Fulham game. There weren't too many Yates haters at that point because he had a good game. I'm sure he can do that again. So yeah, I did think he had a really bad game against Spurs, by the way. I know you said you didn't. There was particularly in the first half, I think he had a woeful game. Lucky not to get more than one yellow. Should have been taken off at half time for me, but that's just my opinion. I thought Reina had quite a good game. I don't think he's as effective as Alanga. I think with Alanga's pace and behind this team, we probably could have done the job. But I liked what Reina did. Better than Origi, certainly. I'm glad the decision was made to start Reina and not Origi. And noticeable improvement in set pieces in terms of delivery because we took Gibbs-white off and Reina and Danilo went on them. So it's one of those where you have to weigh it up. Alanga for his pace and attacking intent, or Reina for his set piece delivery. Both of them quite useful. Both of them much more useful than Origi. So, whichever one of them starts, I know Alanga's injured, that's good. But I think Reina had largely quite a good game. I would not be upset if he started next game either.
Yeah, I think my comment was more around. I don't think he did anything. That also falls into the category. He didn't do anything bad. There wasn't. I think he had a shot fairly early on. The way we play really well is we have two wingers. Do you know what I mean? We pin their fullbacks out wide, and if he's not going to do that, you might as well play Nico Dominguez out there.
True. Yeah, I guess the relationships between fullbacks and the wingers are really important to how we play at the minute.
Really important.
So that sort of took an element out of our game, but it was good to see we can still attack. We did score from a set piece finally.
Great
thoughts
header
on that goal?
Great header. Good movement. Great ball into the box. Was that been a Reina assist?
Yeah, Reina.
Reina assist. Very well timed as well. Going in 1-0 down at half time would have got some boos, I think, regardless of the performance. I thought we were starting to build up a head of steam. I think it's one of the things. I think if that first half had carried on for another 5 minutes, we could have gone in 2-1 up, that kind of thing. But yeah, great goal.
Yeah. At half time, I felt quite confident. I felt we were the team with the momentum on the up. If anyone was going to take 3 points, it was ours. I still think largely that was the case. We scored a second goal. Obviously, we've mentioned the sloppy equaliser. But I thought we were the better team. I think Wolves don't really have much to play for. I guess they've got potential for Europe, but maybe
I think we all but ended that, didn't we?
Yeah, I think that's very wishful thinking, but they looked happy and content to just sort of almost park the bus and sit back. They did have a few chances. We gifted them a few, of course. We're Nottingham Forest, but I do think it was 2 points dropped, but there was largely an intent. A few dodgy subs, which shows where we're at the minute. I think Tavares did have an absolute shocker of a cameo. We've seen that element to his game prior, and then he ended up becoming a very, very effective player. This was not one of those moments, unfortunately. This was one of his shockers that he's had. And of course, Origi, I just don't really want to see him again for Forest. He's not going to be here next season. We're looking like we're maybe getting that Ribeiro guy in, so maybe start building with him. He's got to be more useful than what Origi does, who at best you can say the most he's done has been fine. That chance at the end where he needed to just square it to Chris Wood, I think sums him up. Can get in a good position, but can do nothing with it. Very sloppy. Missed quite a few big chances since he's been here, and he's not for me.
I think Origi fell over waiting for Wood to get onside, for that ball.
Well,
it's still a shocking execution, but I think he waits so long. and he hits it so hard. I mean,
He,
he hits it
he
so hard.
absolutely levers it.
Absolutely levers it. Could have been
Maybe
a
it
shot.
was a shot. Maybe it was a shot because he does absolutely hammer it.
Yeah.
Whether he's waiting enough time, the amount of venom he put on that ball just doesn't make any sense. So he's not for me.
No. Well, we talked about the equaliser.
Yeah, we did. We said how basically how avoidable it was,
and the Danilo goal as well. Well, that would have been a penalty, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The referee had the whistle in his mouth, I think.
Yeah, very, very composed finish from Danilo there. It seems to be this time of the season where he just becomes unplayable, and he to me was the man of the match. I don't know who got it in during the game. Was it Murillo?
BBC does it.
But Danilo, certainly for me, I thought he was excellent.
I think he got to go Murillo.
You would have gone Murillo?
Yeah.
Fair. I mean, he's a very good player. He stopped a goal.
That goal line clearance on its own, mate.
Yeah, very good player. Not surprised to see rumours this week that Madrid and Barcelona are both in for him. Whether they're real or not, who knows? But the fact that it's more than realistic says a lot about the guy. So, yeah, Danilo was great, but 2 points dropped. The last 10 minutes or added time again were just nothing. We're really poor at sort of seeing a game out, I think. But the game's gone. We didn't lose. A point further in and a point ahead of Luton with better goal difference.
Three good things did happen this weekend, though, JJ.
Go on, hit me.
Well, Liverpool have slipped again.
Happy days.
Happy days. Luton took a pumping away at the Etihad. It was 5-1 in the end. And then last night, Everton got pumped for 6. Didn't they? Away at Chelsea at the Bridge. We won there, didn't we? And that has absolutely decimated their goal difference. They are now level with us on goal difference. Head of Forest playing Everton on Sunday, which is a humongous game. We surely, I mean, you were saying earlier, JJ, at the bottom 10 teams, we're the top of the form table.
In the last 11 games.
The last 11 games, which I suppose is the form, isn't it? Everton are just rubbish, aren't they? I mean, Sean Dyche keeps getting jobs. I mean, fair play to him. What he did at Burnley, can't knock it. But I don't know why anyone... He's proven now he can't do a big job. If you class Everton as a big job with big money, his football is archaic. It'd probably be like a good England manager, like a tournament, like a kind of winning particular games. But yeah, he's. I don't think he's long for the Everton hot seat because there's rumours he's fallen out with all the players, hasn't he? Because he whacked Nathan Patterson around the back of the head. At warm weather training. I hope we don't lose. That's where I am on the prediction for the game. It's if we lose, that probably cuts Everton. Takes up to that'll put them 4 points ahead of us.
Yes. The game has got. It was a big game anyway. Naturally, it's the fucking profit and sustainability derby, if you will.
No Kashiko.
The game, nice. The game's got even worse with this pumping the other night because them getting hit for 6 now being on an equal goal difference is huge. Because if we can beat them, we go above them. If we can beat them, naturally we'll have better goal difference than them. Which is really important. So there's 2 real positives to us winning. If we draw against them, then they're still around us. We've still got equal goal difference. If we lose, it's not good. So I think it's a must win. I think it's a game you've got to target. Everton are a tough team to play, and I think they will be well equipped, more so than many other teams to play against us, because if there's a bloke that knows about Forest, it's Sean Dyche, because he's there every bloody week. So they'll know how to target us. They'll know our frailties, of which there are many at the back. But we all know their frailties. And I think our type of play. I think it will be a shocking defensive display from both teams. But I think if we're at the races, we can counter-attack and absolutely hammer them, because the Chelsea result last night, I think, is really flattering to Chelsea. Cole Palmer's hat-trick's got to be one of the worst hat-tricks ever. Good player, naturally, but...
I don't know. That Pickford mistake where he's lobbed him, that was smashing.
Yeah.
Smashing.
Sure. But Pickford's Pickford, isn't he? Rubbish. So, I think Chelsea... I generally thought Everton would get something from the game last night, which, to say they went on to lose 6-0 says a lot about my football knowledge. But I think Chelsea is quite an easy game at the minute, and it's a game that I would target us to get something from, particularly seeing as we're playing them at home. So I think Everton away is a tougher game than Chelsea at home for us. So we really do need to target it. I think it will be difficult. But like I say, the narrative now, given the 6-0 drubbing, the goal difference, and the fact that they're in and around this fight after the yet another 2-point deduction, with us appealing, them appealing, it's all starting to get a bit messy. Who are Luton playing? Do you know? Do you have that to hand?
Let's have a quick looky Lou. Lucky Luton. Hey. They has got Brentford at home on Saturday.
Winnable.
So we'll know what the crack is.
Yeah, because we're playing on Sunday. Yeah, so yeah, winnable. Obviously, hopefully Luton slip up. Brentford aren't great, so it's winnable for them. I guess the benefit is still goal difference over Luton, potential points back on appeal. It's a ropey position. I don't know how you feel. Obviously, a few weeks ago, you were saying 100% Forest will stay up. I still think we'll stay up, but I'm it's looking a bit ropey. I won't lie to you. What are your thoughts?
Similar, mate. Similar, if I'm being honest. If we had our 4 points back, we'd be on 30 with 5 points clear of Luton. I'd be looking at you right now saying we will be in the Premier League next season. I have a sneaky suspicion we won't get anything back. Or maybe we'll get a point back. Everton have also appealed their second ban. Their second deduction. I still think we'll stay up. I would have, out of the game we had, Palace, Fulham and Wolves at home, I would have liked 2 wins out of them. But also we didn't lose.
We didn't lose, but there's this common theme of, games were there to be taken and we walk away from it thinking we definitely should have won there. We're always playing teams at a good time. That was a good time to play Wolves again because they had injuries. Yes, Cunha was back, but he's been off with hamstrings, so he's not at full fitness. Dawson was on the bench. Nori wasn't playing. They were a weakened side. That was a good time to play them, which we keep hearing. It's a good time to play Everton because they've just been smacked up 6-0 and got another point deduction, and the manager's smacking the players. I mean, it's another good time to play them, and I just hope we don't look at the end of this season at all these great opportunities that we've been given. Gift horses. We've looked them in the mouth, so to speak, and, walk the other way. So, yeah, I think that's the main thing that we need to better next season. Get our financials in order, of course, but the frailty and the soft underbelly that we seem to get when presented with great opportunities to play teams, we just need to start capitalising on these because games are starting to run out now. There's a 5 left. Is that right?
5, yeah.
One of them's Man City, so you can categorise that as 4 left, essentially. So, yeah, it's going to be... I'm nervous for it already. It's on Sunday and I'm already nervous for it. It's been rent-free in my head. It's a game that we need to target. So, yeah, not going to be a nice one.
Come on then, JJ. Give me your prediction.
2-1 Forest, I think.
2-1 then Reds. I will say 1-0 Forest, and it'll come from a Moussa Niakate long throw in just to rub it in Sean's face.
You think he's going to be playing?
I think he'll play. I think you'll play Niakate ahead of Omobamidele or Bolly if Bolly's fit.
Is it 1 for 3 at the back or 5 at the back? The old trusted.
No, I think we need a bit more presence in the air.
Interesting.
against a team of Orcs.
What I will say with your 1-0 prediction is
Yeah.
I don't think Forest are going to keep another clean sheet this season.
Ooh.
Because we're just so frail at the back. But I hope you're right. I'd love to see a clean sheet.
Love it.
Means we haven't at least lost.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think we're just so frail, so naive that I dread to think how many set pieces it is we've conceded now. It's over 20 or at least 20.
21.
Ooh, that's bad. That is bad. But yeah, horrible game. I just hope we're at the races. Hope we're up for it. If we can turn that ground toxic as quickly as possible, then we've got a great chance.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're listening for the first time, thank you very much for finding us. It means a lot. If you've come back again and 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 again, God knows we love you.